Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based around the brewing winter storm that targets millions across America as fire threat rages in Florida. Slocky. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read some of this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will you're edified. It says a new winter storm system takes aim on the Midwest and Northeast, threatening millions with heavy snow and travel disruptions just days after a historic Northeast blizzard. Meanwhile, critical fire danger and fire weather warnings grip Central and South Florida today as record warmth, low humidity, and gusty winds create tinderbox conditions. So basically more snowstorms and even wildfires in certain places. And then there's this quick thing right here that says, and this was 2 days ago, says super fog causes dangerous driving conditions in Florida. Says the combination of dense fog and smoke from the still burning national fire may set the stage for exponentially dangerous driving conditions across inland portions of South Florida between midnight and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Said the National Weather Service in Miami is warning drivers to be cautious of super fog due to the national fire that is currently burning in South Florida. Super fog is a mixture of smoke and moisture, with the moisture being released from damp, smoldering material. Visibility is dramatically lowered to less than 10 feet when super fog is present, according to the Fox Forecast Center. The national fire continues to burn just south of Alligator Alley in Collier County, with a smaller fire called the Regal Fire also burning east of State Route 29 along to Miami Trail. Fog will be visible over a large portion of South Florida overnight until about 9 a.m. Friday. Drivers should be aware Drivers should be aware that super fog can cause extremely dangerous driving conditions during this time. Yeah, so it's just one dangerous condition after another. Whether it's the super fog, whether it's the fires, whether it's the storms. 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And I have the meaning of perilous here, and it says full of danger or risk, dangerous, hazardous, unsafe. And these Salakia. And these are just some of the ways to describe the times that we are in. Dangerous, hazardous, unsafe. Risky times. Because of all the judgments that the Lord is bringing upon the earth. The fires, the storms, the tempests, the earthquakes, the violence, the famines, the constant power outages happening. Some places experience droughts where they get no rain. And it's just going to get continuously worse. Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And that's what the Lord has been hitting a lot of parts of America with. Storms, snowstorms, some hail, and in some places like torrential rain, and then in other places there's been fires, like wildfires that have started burning. And I've said before that as bad as our winter has been, when we get to summertime, it's going to be even worse. I believe the heat waves are going to be brutal. There's going to be a lot of power outages resulting from too much stress on the power grid. People going to be catching heat stroke. People probably going to be dying from heat stroke, just like how, people were dying from hypothermia. People were freezing to death. So basically, it's just one thing after another. But that's a sign of the times, a sign that we are living in the last days, because everything is getting intensified and getting worse. And those of us of the Hopeful Elect, we understand that this is all part of the Lord's judgment. This is all part of his plan. He's the one that's making these things happen. Because he has to punish these wicked people. And that's what these judgments are. They're basically the sore strokes from the Lord. Psalms 9:16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion Selah. Yeah, so the hailstorms, the blizzards, the torrential rain that could, depending on where it's happening, it could lead to mudslides and landslides. It could lead to flash floods. The lightning storms, the earthquakes, the wildfires. These are all the judgments of the Heavenly Father. The hurricanes, the tornadoes. It's not Mother Nature as these wicked, simple-minded people will call it. This is all the work of Yahweh, the Heavenly Father. And the scriptures have told us that in the last days, perilous times will come. Dangerous, hazardous, unsafe times. And anybody that's paying attention can see that that's the time that we're in. The love of many is waxing cold. There's a lot of division amongst the people. There's more violence happening in the streets. Everything is just collapsing. And you still have people out here that are trying to deny that we are in some dangerous times. And those ignorant, simple people are going to be the very same ones Salakia are going to be the very same ones that end up getting caught in some of these judgments and killed, because they're not taking this seriously. They still trying to walk around and act like this is 15 years ago when things were different. But it's not. Things are only going to get increasingly more violent, more dangerous, more deadly. Things are going to get scarier. Things are going to get more unstable, more more hard to bear. Like, this is not a joke. And the men of the Lord are constantly saying that and trying to stress that point, that this is not the time to be playing around. These are very, very serious times. But only those who are meant to understand will understand. The rest of these people, they're just going to continue on and they're going to be punished. Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And when you look up the definition of prudent, or one of the meanings of prudent, it means wise. So a wise man, or just the wise people of the hopeful elect, the sincere brothers and sisters, are able to foresee the evil and hide ourselves. But these simple people pass on and are punished. These simple people who trust in Esau and think that he's going to protect them and keep them safe, when in reality, he doesn't care about these people. Esau thinks majority of these people are absolutely useless. And he plans on killing majority of these people off anyway. There's a lot of people out here who, they want to wait until the last minute to try to prepare for something. And it's like, no, now is the time to be preparing. More importantly, by getting, in getting right with the Lord. But majority of these people, they don't want to get right with the Lord. They want to be wicked. They want to party all the time. They want to drink all the time. They want to do all the drugs. They want to get all the tattoos. They want to eat all the abominable foods. They want to commit adultery. They want to just be out here being as wicked as they can be. So when the wrath of the Lord gets poured out upon them and they get killed, those of us of the hopeful elect don't feel bad for them, because they reaped what they sowed. And it's not like the men of the Lord aren't warning the people. These people know about the men of the Lord. They've seen the men of the Lord out there on the highways and hedges. They've come across brothers' videos on YouTube. They know. They've heard the warnings, but they refuse to heed the warnings. And so they're just going to continue to get caught up and consumed by the judgments of the Lord. And honestly, it's good riddance to these wicked people. They're honestly better off in the spirit world. So the Lord is going to keep sending more of them to the spirit world. But with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to all the sincere believers. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.